have a story that I'd like to share with my Kenpo friends and fellow martial artists. We all have these stories, but this is my favorite that has to do with my early years in Kenpo. In 1967, I had taken a job at the Standard Club, which was an exclusive country club at the corner of Motor and Manning and Cheviot Hills. And I took the job as a lifeguard. And at the club there were two pools. There was an upper patio pool that was mainly for adults. Well, actually only for adults. And then further down on the other end of the club, lower, was a children's pool. And that's where the kids went. And I would go back and forth between, and then there was a second lifeguard on weekends because there were more people. And one Saturday I was working the children's pool at the club, and it was pretty packed. A lot of parents would come down to watch their kids and meet with the other mothers. There was a group of mothers there, and then a single, they were all over the place. And it was pretty crowded. There was one kid that was running all over. He was breaking rules all over the place. And I gave him several warnings, and I finally had enough, and I went and I got him and I sat him down. And he didn't like that at all. He was complaining. He's always complaining. He was just a pain in the ass. And I just told him, you're just going to sit here until you can calm down and start obeying the rules, which means you don't jump in the pool from the side. He did everything that he shouldn't be doing. And no sooner had I sat him down than a woman near the shallow end said, hey, Sonny, lifeguard. And she kind of motioned me over. I went over there. I said, yes. She said, that's my son over there. What are you doing? I said, well, I sat him down. I took him out of the pool. He's going to sit down for a while because I'm having a problem with him. He's running. He's breaking rules, and I can't have it. Not only for him, it's my job that he stays safe here, but all the other children of your friend. She had a bunch of other mothers with her. And she'd heard that with a scowl on her face, and she looked at me and she said, do you know who I am? I said, no. So she gave me her name. I said, well, that's nice. Nice to meet you. She said, I'm a charter member in this club. I was one of the first members of this club. I know everybody here, including your boss. I said, oh, that's great. And I said, well, that's nice to know, but I've got things to do. She said, no, wait a minute. Wait a second. I don't want my son sitting over there like that. And she started up again. So I said, listen, hold on. Let me understand this, because maybe maybe I'm confused. Is what you're telling me is that all these kids are in the pool, your kid, and also probably a lot of the children of the mothers who are here with you, of the women who are here with you. But the rules apply to all of the kids, including the kids of your friends, but not to you because you're a charter member and you know my boss, so your kid gets to break all the rules, but the other kids can't? Well, that did it. She said, well, she could hardly speak. She said, I have never been so insulted. And she started to get up. She said, you're in a lot of trouble. She said, I'm calling my husband. I said, well, fine. And she stormed away. So I said, this isn't going to be good. So I called up to the pool and I had the other lifeguard come down. The adult pool wasn't that busy. It's not that hard to detail anyway. The adults just kind of wade around in the shallow end. And he came down and said, listen, there's a potential problem here. We watched the kids. There may be somebody coming. I told him kind of what happened. Sure enough, 5 minutes later, in the back parking lot, which was behind the children's pool, I see this, and it's dirt and gravel. And if you came to the club and you pulled up to the entrance, a valet would take the car down there, or you could park there yourself. So I see this big cloud of smoke, and I hear this engine going, and I look over the wall, and here comes I think it was a Corvette, raced in and did a Brody practically into a parking. He parked haphazard. That's got to be him. So I walked outside, and he got out of his car. He stripped his coat. He threw it on the hood of his car. And he started me, and he said, "You're the lifeguard?" I said, yeah, that's me. I said, you must be whatever her name was, her husband. She said, that's right. He said, I understand that you've been giving my wife a lot of trouble and you insulted her in front of her friends. I said, oh, I didn't mean to insult her. I was just trying to explain to her that your son is breaking a lot of the rules and I'm concerned about his safety and the safety of the other children. He said, well, listen, he said, my wife is very upset and you've got to get your act together and get my kid back in. And you apologize to my wife. I'm going in there in front of me. You're going to apologize in front of my wife and her friends, and my kid's going, don't ever. I said, no, I'm not doing any of that. And he'd been swelling up this whole time. Pretty big guy, bigger than I was, and muscular, probably lifted a lot of weights. And he was getting more and more angry and frustrating. Finally, he says, listen, he says, Ed Parker teaches us restraint and that we need to control ourselves. But I'm telling you right now, he said, you're getting close, you're really getting close to crossing the line. Now, I'm supposed to say, who is Ed Parker? I'm supposed to ask him that question, but I don't. I look at him and I say, Ed Parker? And then after that, he would say, yeah, Ed Parker, my karate teacher. And then I'm supposed to go, oh my God, karate, not only are you the Incredible Hulk, but you know karate too. Oh my God, let's go talk to your wife. I'll get on my knees and all. But I don't do that. And I said, you mean Ed Parker, who runs the Santa Monica School at the corner of Santa Monica and Sepulveda? He looked at me kind of funny. He said, that's him. I said, well, I'm the head instructor down at that school. And at that time I was under Ed Parker. I was the first black belt there, and I'd got my black belt 2 years earlier, and I said, I'm the head instructor down there under Ed Parker, and I don't recognize you. I don't even recognize your name. And you say that you train there, and I'm even there during the day, so if you're coming in taking private lessons, I haven't even seen you during the day, unless you're going up to the Pasadena school, and that's a long drive from Cheviot Hills. And this guy looked at me and like, oh. It was the first time he actually shut up. He didn't know what to say. And he just said, oh my, he said, and then I continued. I said, now let me understand something. You do this a lot? Every time your wife has a problem somewhere, she calls you and then you come down there and throw your coat off and you threaten everybody and you mention Ed Parker in the school? I mean, is this something you do on a regular basis? Because if you do, Ed Parker's not going to like that. And it's not only bad for him, it's bad for the school. He said, oh, I'm sorry, there must be a misunderstanding. I said, oh yeah, there's a misunderstanding, all right. I said, I've got to get back to work. But I said, you better give a lot of thought to what you're doing and using Ed Parker's name. And I started back to the pool, and I got about 10 feet away, and he said, excuse me. I turned around, I said, yeah. He says, what am I going to tell my wife? And I looked at him, I said, I have no idea what you're going to tell your wife. Have a nice day. And I turned and I walked back into the pool. That's my favorite story.